Wanna start this? I don't remember how to do this.
All right.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I'm Gavin. With me today
Leigh.
is... Sorry.
Me.
You.
Hi.
Yes. We are back. Eventually. Finally.
I think it's kind of silly that we're like, we're back. We were never here.
No. We have
Like,
not done this for like, what, 2
No.
years?
Yeah, no, it's been crazy the 2 years that have, I mean, it's been mostly COVID, really, but like, I also think that
We recorded
don't
during
do
COVID.
for anybody else, and I think that that's the
No.
point, right? Because we just do this because it's fun and we enjoy talking to each other. And because like it kind of takes away some of the stressors in our
Oh, yeah.
regular day-to-day lives, I think that we just don't give a shit what everybody else's schedule is, because we're like, we'll do it when we feel like it, and then we'll post it and see if anyone wants to listen. But nobody does, so it doesn't
No.
matter. If people started to listen to this and were like, "Okay, you need to be on a more consistent schedule," then I would. However, nobody does, so I don't.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean,
I am not wrong.
we have one person who has told us to be on a more consistent schedule before. One. It's the same person who's been telling us to record more this whole time.
Whatever.
Just Mitch. Just Mitch.
Just Mitch. You know what, Mitch? There you go. You're welcome.
Also, I'll point out we've been trying to record this for like 2 weeks and just
Yeah.
crap doesn't
We've been
work.
sick. Yeah. We've been
You've been sick.
and
I've been headachy. We've been.
headachy.
I went to BC.
Yeah.
You were busy with work. Stuff just doesn't work out. Also, so a few things have changed since we last recorded, which you may not realize, Lee.
What?
Anchor is now gone. It
Like, what do I not know about you?
no. Anchor has the site we've been posting the podcast on. It's now gone. It's kind of merged in with Spotify, so it's all like it has become Spotify for podcasters, basically. So
okay, whatever.
yeah, that's gone. So we don't need to send you to a random website now. It's now just on
Yay!
Spotify,
Just go to Spotify.
basically. Also,
I love Spotify. Did you
Do
know
you?
that I was in the top 5? Yes, I was in the top 5% for listeners for Phil Collins last year.
what the Lee?
I love Phil Collins.
Jesus Christ. Top 5%.
I watched,
How many people
Yeah, top
does
5%.
that include? That is my
I
question.
don't remember, but I was in the top 5% because I love Phil Collins, and also because he has the best Disney playlist of all time. I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill. I am of the opinion that Tarzan has one of the best Disney like soundtracks of all time, and it is
Really?
all Phil Collins. Yes. Are you kidding me?
I haven't watched
Tarzan
Tarzan.
rocks.
I have not watched Tarzan in
Tarzan.
literally, I don't know how many years. So
I watched
Don't know.
it the other day purely because I wanted to listen to Phil Collins.
Gee, of course you did.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Tarzan, best soundtrack. Come at me.
I will.
I will
I
fight
can't.
you.
I can't dispute that because I do not remember that soundtrack for
I
the
will
life of me.
straight up fight you if you say that Tarzan does not have an awesome soundtrack, because it does. It's fabulous.
Sure,
It's
whatever
emotional.
you say.
It's rock and roll. It's got like other sounds. It's awesome. It tells a story. It's great. It's Phil Collins. Don't shake your head at me. This is
I
fantastic.
will shake my head at you because I do not understand you sometimes.
Tarzan rocks.
Sure. I'll just accept
Such
it.
a stupid. This is a stupid thing that like my brain is like, you need people to agree with you on this. And like, why? No one cares. It's Tarzan. I don't even know when Tarzan came out. It was like the 90s. Like, I don't know. We're Google it. I want to know. But like, I don't know. Something about the Tarzan soundtrack is fantastic, and I think that everybody should listen to it and realize how great it is, because I will die on that hill.
1999.
See? 90s.
Almost June 18th, 1999 was when Tarzan came out. And oh yeah, I can see all of its songs and they're all Phil Collins.
Yeah, and it's awesome.
And Mark
I will
Mancina.
start singing. Screw him. Phil Collins.
of the
Phil Collins sings all the songs. I don't think Mark
of-
Mancina. I don't know who Mark Mancina is. He
of
must be
the
like a songwriter or something.
of the 14 tracks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 of them are Phil Collins.
Rock.
9 of them. Like, what is going on, Leigh?
They're great, and Phil Collins rocks.
Like,
also,
look at this.
One of my favorite commercials of all time is a Phil Collins song.
Like, basically the first 9. 10. Oh, there's another one. There's 10 of them. 10 of the 14.
They're so good.
Are Phil
They're
Collins.
so good. Yeah,
Like,
they're so good. I have them just like peppered into my playlist at work. So every time that people like come in, they're like, "Oh, that song's really good." I'm like, "Yeah, it's from Tarzan soundtrack." Awesome.
I will. No, why?
You need to watch it, and you need to just be like, "Yes, you were right. This is a great soundtrack."
Okay,
it's
fine.
so good.
I will watch it eventually.
I would love to see a Tarzan live action with Phil Collins songs.
I mean, if they make, sure. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I know Tarzan has had lots of live actions.
Yeah, it's had a number of different
and don't have
versions.
Phil Collins. So, because it's a book, right? Like it's based on a book. So, yep, love good Tarzan.
Also,
love it. It's
well
so
done.
Good.
Well done, Leigh. We had a plan in mind and then went incredibly off the rails for the last like 7 minutes.
Tarzan deserves 7 minutes. Just saying. Do we want to talk about what we're actually talking about today?
Sure. I didn't want to mention one thing, because I went through all this trouble of getting this set up, and I want to talk about it. We're video now. Hi.
We're debating whether or not this is a good idea.
Yeah,
I'm
basically.
of the opinion that it might not be.
I want to have fun.
I washed my hair though.
Well done.
Thank you.
Looks amazing. Well done, sister.
It's really long, and I want to cut it all off.
Yeah. So, if you're listening to the audio version, which there's going to be like 3 of you, hi. We're uploading this video version to YouTube as well because I feel like it and I want to. Leigh doesn't have.
I'm already on YouTube in a very embarrassing fashion. Oh right, I'm supposed to back up so you don't.
Is it that embarrassing fashion? Is it the fact you were on the news? Is that why you're on YouTube? Oh no, I know exactly why it is. It's because of your capstone project is on.
Yeah, it wasn't my capstone project. My capstone project was actually useful.
Oh, sorry.
It was a university project in which the goal of this project was to answer a question about animals in particular. It was primarily it was like livestock, but it was animals that like you didn't know you had was the concept, but it was like in the form of a variety show. It was a super fun project.
It was amazing to watch.
Oh god, I don't even want to know how it was like to watch. But
it was great.
My group and I, we were tasked with explaining the history of the Canadian cow, which is a milk breed cow that's specific to Canada. It was developed in Quebec, I think.
Oh, this is not what I was thinking about.
What were you thinking about?
I was thinking about you singing.
That is what we're talking about.
Is it? Because I'm pretty sure there's also a video.
Yeah, it's a video of me on stage singing a song about Canadian cows to the tune of Dean Brody's Canadian Girls.
Yeah, okay, that is the one. Isn't there another video of you doing like where you actually filmed stuff at a farm?
Yeah, that was in our video.
Okay. Because I just remember that part and you dancing as a cow.
Oh my god, that was so embarrassing.
I'm going to find that video again. And I'm going to link it.
I'm probably all over YouTube.
Yeah, probably.
Did you know I had a lady who stopped me in the parking lot of work the other day, and she was like, "You're the lady from the news," and I was like, yes. Can I not be?
I mean, everyone.
Do you want to know a thing?
Sure.
I am the only person at my job currently who is comfortable being on camera. So anytime they have which is no shade to anybody, but also someone please help me.
And even then, you hate it.
I don't hate it. I hate the aftermath because I like to talk. I am a talker. I talk a lot.
No shit.
I actually told we had a volunteer the other day who was like, "You looked like you were busy," and I was like, "I talk a lot. You can interrupt me." I was like, "I always look like I'm busy and talking because I'm always talking. So just interrupt me." But So I don't have any trouble talking, especially, and I don't have trouble talking on camera, which I think is like, you know, a thing, right? I don't have any trouble with that kind of stuff. Some people get really like shy on camera or in front of people or talking to people. I don't get that. So, I'm totally cool with talking in front of people. I have no problem talking in front of groups. I have no problem talking on camera. I can like come up with things really quickly. And apparently I have a good on-camera voice.
You do, until you
Thank
blow
you.
out the mic. I think it's just with me that you do that. I don't know why. Because like I've seen your interviews and stuff, and you're fine. It's
Thank you.
just when we record that you end up half screaming.
Well, I'm not going to scream on the news. What do you think I talk about on the news?
But what I mean is, like, I don't know what it is about you, like, us recording that you have to blow out my microphones every time.
Maybe because it's fun and I enjoy talking to you. Sorry. I don't particularly enjoy being like, hey, news, for the 80th time today, let me tell you the same story and ask for the same things. Because that's the thing with the news is that, like, oftentimes when we'll get requests for interviews, there will be requests for interviews from multiple different news companies, and they'll want to know the same thing. So I'll just repeat myself, like, over and over and over again, looking at a different person. So
Yeah, because they all
it
ask
gets
the
kind
same
of
stuff.
monotonous and pretty much the same, right? And like I'm happy to do it because it gets more exposure for my shelter and for my job and for the animals that we help. But like, God, sometimes I'm like, somebody else, please, please help me. Somebody
Yeah.
else, please talk to this camera because I cannot.
I mean,
I cannot.
oh, you're
It's
fine.
fine. It's fine. It's fine.
But no, it's
It's
a good thing
fine.
that you doing it helps the shelter. Plus, you run the shelter, so you should be the face of
Yeah.
it.
It is my job to do that. And that's
Yes.
totally fine. I have no problem with it. But yeah, some days I was like, would have loved to have some other humans that could be on the radio or whatever for me, which is nice, but it's fine. Whatever.
Also, you take after Dad in that respect as well. Not the camera part, but the always
You've never been on
talking,
the news.
but the always talking part. He's actually
I'm
told me
the
before
news
that
person of our family.
Dad's always told me that that he used to always basically sit with his like door open if someone came by to ask him a question. He's like, "Please come, come talk to me," all the time. And you are the same way.
I get lonely if I close my door.
Jesus, I get work done if I close my door. Not that I have one.
I get my work done too, but then I get bored and then I want to talk to people.
Eh.
You're like, yeah.
Also, I'm pretty
Yes,
sure I
yeah.
have. You were saying you have a bunch of videos on YouTube or things that
Yeah.
have existed in without your knowledge.
It's not without my knowledge. It's just not
Yeah.
me doing it,
Mm.
Like it's not me actively placing myself onto YouTube. But if
Yeah.
you like search up my name, you will find a video of me
Yes.
somewhere.
Probably.
You will. Like it's not even a negotiation. It's like 100% if you look up my name, there'll be all sorts of news articles
Oh yeah.
from and or radio from me, both my maiden name and my married name.
Yeah. I
Tons
mean,
of them.
you look up mine and it's mostly just curling.
Really?
For my
I've
yeah.
never looked up your name.
If you look up mine, it comes up with my engineering CV, my first one that I ever made, because it was a Google Sites thing.
Oh, I
And
remember
then
that. The one where you spun the. But you
no,
spun on
not the
chair.
video, not
I
the
love
video.
that. That was my favorite thing. You should put that on YouTube.
No, actually, it was at one point, and I'm pretty sure I deleted it because it was so
Well,
cringy.
that's so sad. Oh yeah, there's your LinkedIn.
Yeah, there's my LinkedIn, my Facebook, and then there's just some articles from like Curling Zone.
Yeah, and there's your picture for when you were on the Week of Welcome team.
Is it?
And,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
because that's my Facebook page.
yeah,
But yeah, there's
yeah.
stuff from like Alberta
Curling.
Rocks and stuff, and from the
Oh, there's
NJSL, and
Is this you as well?
I
The
don't.
effect of chemical additives in phosphoric acid
Yes.
anodization.
Yeah, so I
Hey, look at you.
have a research credit basically because that was I worked in a lab for I was basically a lab tech for that paper. But
I
yeah,
just found an article from the Sylvan Lake and District Archives. This said more like 4 men posing with curling brooms and plaid golf bags, and it cites your team.
what?
Oh, boy. Yep.
We never had plaid.
I don't know what they're on about.
Yeah, that's weird. Anyway, Shall we continue our actual topic, or do we want to continue talking about random crap?
Oh my god, there's a photo on. Oh god, I'm everywhere. Oh no.
I actually want to look this up now.
Ew, no, don't.
Leigh.
No.
No, I spelt our last name incorrectly.
Good job. Oh, good. I exist less with my married name. There's a realtor in BC that's got my married name, so. Thank goodness.
Why am I Yahoo? This is dumb.
Nobody uses Yahoo.
No, it's because I'm using Chrome for the first time on this computer, and it's defaulting to...
Oh, I'm supposed to be
Yahoo.
further away. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's fine, Leigh. I've turned you down enough that you should be fine.
I just want to lean on the table. I don't want to lean back.
That's fine. If you want to lean on the table. Oh yeah, there's your LinkedIn, there's your Twitter.
And my
curling some statistics. Oh, there's a picture of you kissing a stingray.
Ew. I hate it.
I want to see. Let's look at images.
No. Don't look at the images. You do not know what you will find. Do not look at the images.
I'm pretty sure there's a picture from Sherwood Park Curling Club. I don't know why that's there.
Because I teach their curling, ding dong.
But that's not you on the
No, I know
ice.
it's not. Is it?
I don't
know.
I don't think any of those are you.
No.
But,
no, I think that's just their like picture. But
yeah.
I still teach that.
But yeah, because your Twitter, because you posted on Twitter the picture of you kissing a stingray.
That was for school. I do not use Twitter.
I know you don't.
But when I was in university, we had a class where we had to learn, like, it was basically a communications class. And at the time, it seemed really stupid because we didn't learn how to do anything. I learned how to code friggin' Wikipedia. But now I'm like, oh, that was a communications class. And it was talking about how to use social media as a means to give out what you, like, want to portray yourself as. And now it's super helpful. At the time, it really wasn't that helpful. But we were asked to make a Twitter profile, and we had to, like, tweet about a bunch of stuff for class, and we had to like prove that we had a Twitter profile to get marks, which is why I have a Twitter profile.
Mm-hmm.
Or had a Twitter profile. Does Twitter even exist anymore?
No, not technically.
I saw that it got rebranded.
It did, because Elon Musk is destroying it.
He calls it X now, right? Is it
yeah, because he is no, well, it's like halfway in that hybrid zone of everything.
What is he going to call it? Is he just going to call it X?
X. Literally
It's
X.
just going to be called X?
And then the tweets are becoming X's.
Ew, why?
Yes, because he's crazy.
That's what happens when you have lots of money. You go bonkers.
But, like, he's turned something that was well-loved and used across the world as a universal platform into this weird crap hole, basically.
I mean, yeah, that's
also
fair.
He has a weird, like, infatuation with the letter X.
He does, doesn't he? Isn't it kid? His kid is got an X in his name?
His kid is named a bunch of mathematical characters, and I'm pretty sure they just call him X.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Also, he has SpaceX, and his like entire mega corporation is like something X. He's infatuated with it. I don't know why. But yeah.
He's probably a front for where he hides his piles of dragon money.
Yeah. He is a
if I had
dragon.
as much money as Elon Musk, I would build a dragon cave, and I would pile all of my money in a pile, and I would slide down it.
You wouldn't go diving into it Scrooge McDuck style?
No, that would be so painful. Do you know how painful it would be to dive into a pile of money?
What about our money is plastic? I'm not talking like loonies and toonies.
Yourself.
But I'm talking like...
Well, that's not a dragon hoard. That's no
fun.
Like, you have to have it in either gold, silver, or loonies and toonies if you're going to have a dragon hoard.
Okay,
or
fine.
Precious gems.
Okay, fine.
You can't have paper bills and plastic bills in a dragon hoard. That's just ridiculous. Come on now.
No, what you do is you have the dragon hoard to one side, and then you have a pit filled with plastic bills, like our Canadian money, and
just a plastic
go
swimming
diving.
pool full of plastic pills.
Basically, yes. It's just a big
Could do that.
pool
Could do that.
with a
Do you
diving
think
board.
that all the bills would sit flat against each other? So it would just be like a big sandwich of bills?
No. You ever tried to?
Think so?
They might layer on top of each other. It's hard to say. It's hard to. It depends on how you put them in there. I think there's going to be points where it all like twists in turns on itself.
Yeah,
so you might get some sharp ends coming up, but it's
I still think
plastic.
it would hurt.
It probably would because it's not water or foam.
It's not water. Water can hurt you too.
Yes, it can if you hit it at the wrong angle.
Yeah.
This is why we should not be diving into anything unless it is foam.
I don't dive into anything because
No.
I don't swim great. So
Just with our family's
if
lack
I
of
fell
affinity
off of
to
a
water.
boat in the middle of the ocean, there's a 0% chance I would survive.
No. You and Mom both.
0%. That's rude. And also, yes, true.
True.
You would die too, so don't lie.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, 100%.
I would
None of
survive
us are
longer
good
than
swimmers.
I would survive longer than you, but I would still die.
Oh, I don't think so. I'm a very stubborn person. I would just stubbornly refuse to die until you died, and then I'd be like, well, time to go.
You will out-survive me out of stubbornness.
Yep.
Oh my god.
First on this earth, last off it.
No, you would drown me.
I would not drown you. I love you dearly and would never hurt you. Unless it would make me survive. No, I'm just kidding. No, I wouldn't. I would probably drown myself trying to protect you. You know it. You really think I wouldn't protect you?
Oh no, you would. And then you'd
That's
accidentally drown me.
That's rude. Not that stupid. No, I would
no,
not do that.
I'm not saying you're stupid. Incompetent.
Oops. Oh no.
You drowned.
So
My
mean.
bad.
So mean. So mean. Whatever.
All
Let
right.
you drown.
Speaking of death.
Good transition.
Way to go. I don't know why we're doing this now and not in October, but fun.
Because we live on the edge.
Also because we don't know when we're going to record again, so
And
may as
also
well do it
because
now.
my house is haunted, so why not?
There we go. Speaking of haunted houses and the fact we were just talking about drowning each other, I've been playing a game recently called Phasmophobia. It's amazing, by the way.
Which sounds awful.
It is very fun, and I have been trying to convince Leigh to play it. Or I tried to convince her, and she refused.
Absolutely not.
Because
Absolutely not.
she is a coward.
Yes.
Anyway, Phasmophobia, great game. You'll probably, like, if you look it up anywhere, it's everywhere.
What are you playing it on the computer or on your
Yes.
Xbox?
PC.
Okay. That was an or question, and you were like, yes.
Actually, I believe it's
Which one?
Yes.
Yes.
I believe it may have just come out. Now, end of August, something like that. It's coming out for Xbox. So
I will not be playing this game.
you should. We will play together.
I will pee myself. Do
And
you understand that?
I will record it.
It looks so scary.
It's
The
not that
picture
scary.
Makes me scared.
Yeah,
The
that's because
picture.
it's intended to make you scared. It is a horror
I don't
game.
like
It sells the horror.
No.
Okay, so here's why I bring this up. Is one, I used to hate everything horror. Like I used to despise horror at all. Like, right? I never watched the horror movies that Dad loved. I
don't watch a horror movie.
You don't. Yeah, you're like that. But I was
I'm like, nope.
I
This is who I am.
I
I
refuse
will
to.
not change.
I refuse to even read like books about horror or anything, or play games or anything like that that had horror
I
elements.
didn't know
Besides,
you didn't like horror books.
hated
Really?
them. We refused to go near them. Nope. I've never read a single Stephen King book because
What?
Nope.
No way.
And you guys have encouraged me for years, and I almost
None
read
of them won?
Carrie at one point, but I refused.
Carrie's
Nope.
so good. It's barely horror.
But that's the thing, is like, I used to hate everything horror, and then recently I've been playing more horror games. I finished Alien Isolation earlier this year, which is also
Does
an
that
amazing
count as
game.
a horror?
It is. It is a survival horror because you are hunted by an alien for 90% of that game.
I wouldn't call like the movie Alien a horror.
The first one is. Well,
Really?
it's a thriller more than anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
if
a-
I would consider it a horror. But maybe that's because my opinion of a horror, I think that like I don't know. I think that to me horror has to be like a very specific thing. I'm sure it's not, but I feel like it has to be like scary. So stupid. I think
What
that
do you
something
count
like
as
Alien,
scary?
I think that that's the thing. Something like Alien, it was like spooky, but it wasn't like horror, you know? And maybe that's because I consider horror like I think of like old school horror, like Dracula and Frankenstein and all of those like really old like horror stuff. Like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't necessarily think of Alien as horror. Thriller, science fiction thriller, for sure.
It is classified, at least according to Wikipedia, which I am using all of my information from. It is classified as a science fiction horror film. Yeah, it is classified as horror.
Okay.
Also, do you remember when we were flying back from Disney World and you and Emma were laughing at me because I spent the entire time jumping out of my seat because I was watching Alien.
That's what you get for watching Alien on a plane. I watched Homeward Bound on a plane like an idiot.
You started crying, didn't you?
Of course I did. If you don't cry during Homeward Bound, you are dead inside.
I haven't watched it forever, mostly because I just don't want to cry.
It will make you cry. There's a 0% chance it won't make you cry. Blue, get out of here.
Yeah, even on IMDb, the genres for Alien are horror and sci-fi.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because all in all, like the film, it is a horror film in its core. You're talking about like the traditional horror films, but and they are what started the industry, and it's just gotten more and more horror. And then obviously it split off into things like technically like certain types of thrillers, and obviously like the slasher genre and so on and so forth have kind of diverged from the traditional horror film. But yeah, like Alien is a huge one.
The slasher, killer slasher, blood kind of movies are the most pointless movies on the earth.
They kind of are.
Though some point to the slasher movie.
Some of them are kind of funny.
They're so predictable.
Yes, that's the funny part.
They're just gore. Like there's nothing to them. It's just gore. People are gonna be like, no, but I believe this. This is what I feel. I think that slasher movies are so pointless because they're just unnecessary amounts of killing for no reason. And I don't see the point. Like I don't like horror movies. I'm a scaredy pants.
Yes, you are.
However, if there's like a good story behind it, I can probably get behind a horror movie.
So
I will be scared and I will tremble like a chihuahua, but I can maybe get behind it, you know?
Have you watched Alien before? Yes. There you go. Yeah. So you have seen a horror film.
Yes, I have seen horror films before. I just don't actively choose to watch horror films because they are scary.
And like some of them aren't bad. Like there are a handful of slashers I have watched. I watched Scream, mostly because it is a mockery of the horror.
I don't want to watch that. I can't even watch
quite literally a mockery.
Scary Movie, the parody Scary Movie.
Really?
I can't watch it. Yeah, I'm too
scared. I love that movie. It's so stupid.
No, absolutely not.
So
I also
dumb.
don't really like that kind of comedy, though. I think it's kind of stupid, and I don't really find it very funny. So
I love it.
Not for me.
It's funny.
Not for me.
Also, I love how that whole like the scary movies have kind of evolved into just being dumb, and they just are. Like,
I suppose
you get
the
into
campiness, I think, is something that people really like in some cases.
Scary Movie 1 follows fairly closely to the original Scream film, with obviously elements from other horror films tossed in there. And then, like, 2 is a bit odd, and then 3, 4 are literally just parodies at that point. That's all they are. And they just screw over them.
No, absolutely not.
But yeah, no, horror I have found I actually kind of enjoy horror. And then horror games, I used to not even want to go near them. And now I'm starting to find I actually do kind of enjoy them. Like I said, I played Alien Isolation. It's very hard. It does get very tense at times. that alien
You
is
know
a
why
dick.
why I don't like horrors? I don't like jump scares.
Hmm.
I am okay with perpetual spooky.
Yeah, okay.
Cause I don't hate
The
that.
tensity, the tenseness
Yeah,
of it.
I'm okay with tense. I'm okay with perpetual spooky. I don't like jump scares. I am very strong fight or flight.
Okay. Also, you just hate zombies.
I hate zombies. I hate zombies. I find zombies disgusting. They turn my stomach. I hate the like flesh ripping thing. Ugh.
Okay,
Ugh.
so
Oh, I hate it. I
it's
hate it. I can't do zombies.
specifically
Absolutely
like
not.
the
The
cannibalistic side of
undead
it.
cannibalistic
Yeah,
side. Yeah. Like I
because
can
there's
do zombies as a concept, but it's like the flesh ripping thing, the eating of the intestines. I hate it. I
that's
can't do it.
understandable. Like the whole
Disgusting.
undead part isn't the problem. It's the nom 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 brains.
Right, right. It's
Yeah.
the eating of other human beings most of the time while they're still alive.
Yeah,
That's what I don't
okay.
like.
That's understandable. Because there are
Mhm.
lots of zombie stuff where that is not the case.
Yes, and I have watched zombie movies.
Yeah.
I have watched very short snippets of what is that one? Day of the Dead?
Which one? Day of the Dead is the actual film.
The
Shaun
original one.
uh
Very no, I've watched Dawn of the
Dawn,
Dead. It was
Dawn of
still
the Dead.
scary. Dawn of the Dead. Yeah.
I
Day of
think
the
it's
Dead
Dawn of the
might
Dead.
also exist, but
There,
Dawn of the Dead is the one that I'm
there's a
talking about.
bunch of them that are connected to
Anyway,
that franchise.
I've watched snippets of Dawn of the Dead, and I had to continue to stop because it was too scary. I can't do it. It just
Stop
weirds
talking
me
about
out
who.
too much. I don't like Zombieland. I won't watch
Oh,
Zombieland.
I love that film.
I know, and like I know a lot of people who really like it, and it's not. I don't think really that scary, but it has a
It's
lot of
not scary.
eating in it.
It
It's
does.
got eating in it, and I don't like that. It bothers me, so I don't watch Zombieland. But I have watched like I don't know, like World War
World War Z.
Z, World
It's
War Z,
technically
whatever.
World War Z because it's an American film.
Right. Okay. So I've watched that. It didn't really freak me out too much. I've watched. I don't know. I like Warm Bodies. It's a cute movie. It's a rom
Right.
com,
I remember that one.
but it's about a zombie, and I like it, and he's very cute. But I do close my eyes at the part where he kills Dave Franco.
That's literally the very beginning of the film.
I know, and I just close my eyes a little bit because I don't like that part. That part is gross.
Also, Dawn of the Dead is the second film, technically.
Really?
Okay.
What's the first one?
So, the original is like George A. Romero's whole franchise. It starts with Night of the Living Dead in 1968, Dawn of the Dead in
I haven't watched
1978. They remade them. So the
Okay,
one
I watched
you
the new,
yeah.
redone one.
you
I
you
could
watched
not
the
tell you what happened.
remake of Dawn of the Dead, which I think came out in like 2004 or something.
It was awful, and I hated it.
It was not that awful. Which they then turned into a new film. Also, that was made by Zack Snyder. Interesting.
Fascinating. Don't care. I will not watch Walking Dead. I don't care how good it is. I don't care that it's based off of a comic. I will not watch it.
It's not that good.
Isn't it?
No.
That's like a hot take.
It
Hot takes with Gavin.
it's not a hot take. It's been going downhill many years.
I thought it was so popular at first.
It was. So season 1 was very popular because it was it was really good. Season 2 was very long and kind of boring. Season 3 got decent. Somewhere in the span of like 4, 5, 6, it just started to decrease in quality. And then, like, obviously they had some really good stuff in there. Like, people were really looking forward to one of the main villains of the comics, which is Negan. He's the guy with a big old bat, and he's very, very angry. Turns out he actually gets redeemed in the comics, and they're continuing with that story in the Walking Dead show as well. Anyway, we got to that point. Everyone was excited, and then it just continued to fall apart and break, and yeah. It probably didn't suffer the same fate as like Game of Thrones, but it's still not.
Game of Thrones took a hard turn. I didn't watch all of Game of Thrones primarily because it's really long, and I found Game of Thrones
on
like,
HBO,
really heavy.
And we can't watch it without having HBO Max.
I don't want to pay for that. No, But I also found Game of Thrones like really heavy. Like the
Mm-hmm.
episodes were really long and they were really intense. There was lots of stuff that happened and they were all very heavy and I just didn't I don't know. It just was a lot. I like a little bit of like camp, you know? I like a
Yeah.
little bit of fun. The other thing that I liked that's a zombie show is iZombie, which
Oh
is
yeah.
also based on a comic book. I
However,
love
that
that
also
show.
has
It's
eating
so
of
fun.
brains.
Yeah, and I close my eyes.
Though she does turn most of them into like
Into
meals.
food. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Into
it's
actually
easier to get
really
behind because it
tasty looking
clearly
meals.
looks not right. You know, it looks like it's like a little fake brain on like a
Oh
cracker.
yeah.
You know, it's not the like body ripping part, you know? That I don't like that.
Well,
Mm-mm,
she's a
gross. Don't like
mortician,
it.
isn't she?
She is a medical examiner, yes.
So, but yeah. So I've tried. We've tried to get Leigh to do zombie things in the past. Nope.
I hate zombies. Mm-mm.
I showed
And
you Resident Evil 2 once, and you almost
One
ran out of my apartment.
million% no.
I
No.
love that series too. I don't know. That is one case where we are like dead opposites.
I hate zombies. And I don't even really know why. I've never had like a bad experience like where I watched a zombie movie as a kid and it like freaked me out forever or anything like that. I don't get like zombie dreams. Like it's never really been something that I think I could put a finger on. I just don't like zombies. I think they're gross. I think that they're awful and I hate them.
Okay.
End of story. I don't like them. But I'm different than you in I really like scary books.
Yes, and I will not read them. I used to be so scared of like reading scary books that I would not even touch like Goosebumps.
Aw.
As a kid, I refused to even read Goosebumps, even the ones where they weren't really that scary, like the Abominable Snowman one. I just would not touch it with a 10-foot pole.
I had a book.
And now I'm fine with watching.
Of scary stories.
I know you did. You had
I
so
did.
many.
They were very scary.
And they were terrifying. And I
Yeah, they were scary.
vividly remember being scared out of my skin about it.
Aw, I'm sorry.
Like, I used to get so scared. Do you remember how easily I got scared at, what was it, the Scrunts? Which are not actually that scary.
That movie was awesome. I love that movie.
From Lady in the Water.
Lady in the Water.
Ugh.
Which
Terrifying.
is directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
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 Okay. Anyway, that guy.
Anyway,
you know what I'm talking about. And
The
he
king of
directs
twists.
a bunch of like horror movies, which I have seen. And The Sixth Sense scared the shit out of me.
Yes. Scared the shit out of me too.
It was so scary.
Because you see the dead people, and they are terrifying.
Awful. It was awful. But like Signs didn't really care. That's fine. Whatever.
I remember being scared at Signs as well.
Whatever. It was spooky, but it was whatever.
I would probably watch it today and be like, well, that's dumb.
I feel like aliens don't count. Aliens are different. They're not that spooky.
No, aliens are a different matter entirely.
Maybe that's why I feel like Alien is into horror, because I don't classify aliens under the same banner as like dead, scary, ghosty people.
That's I guess that's the thing. It's where do you draw the line at what is a horror creature or not?
Yeah, but and like I think I don't have a problem with things like vampires.
No.
And I'm not talking about Twilight vampires.
Just talking about
I was a Twilight girl when I was in junior high.
Yes, you were. I remember you reading those
because
books.
Everybody was. What do you want from me?
Yeah,
those like 15.
Those books were huge when we were kids.
Yeah, they were fantastic. But
what are your favorite movies? Is a vampire movie?
Yeah, one of my favorite movies.
Fright Night.
I love Fright Night. It's fantastic.
The remake version.
Well, I like both, but yes, I really like the remake.
Because the old one was. I have not actually seen the original.
It's good. It's pretty campy. It was made in the 80s.
Of course it is.
But one of my most favorite book series of all time is the Interview with the Vampire series by Anne Rice. She's one of my favorite authors of all time. I love that series. I have like a leather bound, like 3-book one that Mom and Dad gave me for Christmas or my birthday or something like that. It's like, I love it. It's one of my favorite things I have.
Sort of special books.
Yeah, and I have like a classic. I like classic horror, like I have the original Frankenstein. I studied it in school,
Mm-hmm.
so we did a lot of stuff on Frankenstein. I like the old, like Bram Stoker's Dracula and like, Jekyll and Hyde and like all of those kind of like old school monsters, the horror monsters. I think they're super cool, and I have nothing against them at all. I think they're all perfect, and I love them, and I love everything that remakes them because that's fantastic.
I mean, those are genuine classics.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They're great, but they're not scary, if you ask me. I wouldn't
No,
call them
like
scary.
they're unnatural more than anything. Like
Yeah,
they're that fear of the unknown, and once you know what it is, you're like, yeah, cool. It's
yeah,
that like they were like basically a lot of them are exactly that of like being everyone who is afraid in the book is just afraid of things they don't understand. Whereas a lot of horror now is true, literally trying to make you crap yourself horror.
it's all jump scares. That's
A
all
lot
it
of
is.
it.
I'm gonna turn my phone up there.
I mean, Alien is mostly jump scares. And
Yeah,
the
I know, but
intensity of
like,
being trapped in a tiny space with a lethal monster.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I get it. I get why Alien is considered horror. I'm just
Hmm.
not sure that I really consider it horror.
I mean, and
I think of horror and I think of like The Ring,
yeah, yeah, and
which I
that's
also won't watch. The
but like
Conjuring, which I also will absolutely not watch.
no, never. That is something I will
Exorcist,
never
will not
watch.
watch.
But like I
Alex
watched,
loves The Conjuring.
I know he
He's like
does.
talked about The Conjuring since since we started dating, and he's like, "You're gonna watch The
Hmm.
Conjuring," and I was like,
Isn't
"Do
it
you
on
want me to have a heart attack and die?"
isn't it on your like wall list that you have to watch?
It might be.
I thought it was.
There's a
Um,
few on there that I'm like,
I mean, heck, I've even watched it,
I have not
the
watched
new
it, but I've
it.
read it.
Yeah, you read
I won't
it.
watch it.
I watched the ones that were remade recently, or the two films that were made recently, and I didn't find them that scary, quite
They
honestly.
cut some shit out of that movie,
Yes,
though.
they did.
There was some stuff in that book that was like, but
Yeah,
that's the
well,
thing. I really like Stephen King. He's one of my favorite authors.
he's a
I
weird one.
love He is
He's a
so
weird
weird
dude.
and I love it. I love it. But like my bookshelf just over here, just looking at it right now, I can see one, two, three, five Stephen King novels.
Hmm.
And then on the top I have classic horror. There I have the like Interview with a Vampire stuff. I think technically it's called Vampire Chronicles, but
Yeah, well,
whatever.
the first one's called Interview with a Vampire, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then what else have I got in here?
So much
Uh,
horror.
Hellboy.
I, that isn't horror. That's a superhero comic.
I love Hellboy. I have The Hobbit on there, which is also
That is not horror. I mean, it might have been horrifying
I'm just
for
listing
Bilbo,
books.
but
My point is that I really like Stephen King. I like Stephen King a lot. I used to read Stephen King when we were told in school to like take, individual reading time.
hmm
I would read Stephen King and like
yeah,
a
you would
weirdo in
be
junior high school.
the weird kid who would bring horror books
Mhm.
to school.
I've read The Shining probably 8 or 9 times.
Will you ever watch The Shining?
Absolutely not. No. No way. Nope.
That is now my mission to make Lee watch The Shining.
I will literally vomit. I can't do it. I won't do it. No, I won't watch The Shining. But you know what the thing is? The scariest Stephen King book that I've ever read, the one that like the most deeply affected me, was not a like paranormal book at all.
Which one?
It's called Gerald's Game, which is also a movie, I think. I think they made
Oh,
it into a movie.
yeah, I've heard about that one. I don't remember
Gerald's
anything
Game?
about it, but I
It's
do.
disturbing. The concept behind it is that a woman and her
Oh,
husband go to like
yes.
a
Yeah.
cabin, and it's like a weekend getaway where they're there's like no cell service and like not very many emergency services or anything like that, and her husband has a heart attack. She like there's some like sick stuff, and she basically has had enough of it. She's like, get off of me, and she kicks him, but she's handcuffed to the bed, and he has a heart attack. I think it's a heart attack. I can't remember if he hits his head or he has a heart attack. But anyway, he dies.
Yeah, heart attack. He dies of a heart
He
attack.
dies. And then it's all about her trying to get free of these handcuffs and save herself because there's nobody coming to check on them. Her husband is dead at the end of the bed. She has no water. She has no food. She's handcuffed to a bed. She will starve to death there. And it's about her mental state as she like literally goes just a tiny bit crazy. And there is like a tiny little aspect of paranormal in there as well, but it was so graphically unsettling. It just completely, I was like, this is the one that is the most, like, I can visualize in my brain the way that it's worded. And there's one scene where she actually gets her hand out of the handcuff, and it talks about how she basically, this is gonna be gross alert, she degloves her hand.
Which is no, shush. We get the picture.
It's so awful. And like, I have seen degloved limbs before because I work in a field that has like some crappy things, right? Like I saw a dog with a degloved leg once, and it was awful. But like, that visual from that book has stuck inside my brain hole for my entire life. It was awful.
That is horrifying.
It's so good, but I was like, ugh.
Also, yes, they did make it into a film.
So unsettling.
In 2017.
And I won't watch that either.
No. I doubt they have the ungloved hand part, but
really, I think that they must have it. It's like such a significant part of the movie or the book.
But yeah, in other news, I will not read horror because I remember
spooky.
Like I remember you talking about like when you were reading like the Tommyknockers and stuff, and just telling me about some of the
Tommyknockers was weird.
About some of the stuff that was happening in there, and I was like, no.
No. Tommyknockers were super weird.
It's also funny because Stephen King is an amazing author, and he has written some amazing works that are not bat crazy.
True.
Like The Green Mile, and I think it was Green Mile. No?
I mean, maybe he wrote The Green Mile. I don't know if he wrote The Green Mile, but he did write Shawshank Redemption.
The story of Green Mile is by Stephen King.
Okay, well, there you go. He also wrote Shawshank Redemption.
Yes, he wrote Shawshank Redemption. Which is, a classic short story.
He's an amazing author.
And then he just goes off the friggin' deep end in his regular books.
You know what the funny thing is, too, is like, there are stories in his repertoire that I'm like, okay, I can get behind this. Like, Salem's Lot, for example, which is about vampires.
Well,
Salem's Lot is awesome.
Yeah. It's up in Alaska, isn't it?
I don't remember. But it was really good. Like, it was very classic vampire story, which I thought is awesome. And, like, Carrie is fantastic. And The Shining is fantastic. And, like, there are so many books in his sort of series of books that are so good. And then he's got some weird ones. There was one, and I can't even remember what this book was called. You might be able to look it up. But the concept behind the story was that when time passes, the moments that have already happened just sort of gray out, and they get eaten by these weird little cloud creatures. What was it called?
No, I know what you're talking about. I do not remember what it's called.
I don't even know how you Google that because the concept is so weird. But I think it's I can't remember. Was it a plane? Anyway, some people end up being like spoodled back into time, and they get stuck in this spot where there's like these little creatures that are eating time to end like the moments that have already happened. And
Dead Zone.
Dead Zone. Yeah, it was so weird.
Is it Dead Zone? No, it's not Dead Zone. Never mind. Ignore me.
Oh, I've read Dead Zone, I think too.
Probably. Dad has most of these.
What is it called? I'm gonna have to look it up. I don't remember. But anyway, it was a super weird concept, and I was like, what is that? And I found Tommyknockers like that as well, because Tommyknockers is about aliens, fun fact.
Yes.
But the book is like this wide. It's like probably 1,000 pages. It's so long. And it's a good book, but like there's a significant part of the book that's just it's just people living their lives. Like, why? How? What? Don't understand. How is this like the memories I have of the Tommyknockers is like very minute, and then you add on like 400,000 extra pages. You're trying to find it now, aren't you?
Yep. Yes, I am. Because I know the book you're talking about. Like I can envision it, and I remember Mom talking about it as well.
Because it's weird. It was a weird book.
It is.
I also wouldn't really consider that scary. Although there's a lot of people going crazy and killing each other.
Are you sure it's his?
Yes.
yeah. There's he has some interesting books that also scared the crap out of me without even reading it. Like I remember seeing just the concept of Cell.
Yeah, Cell. I've read Cell. Is Cell there? No, I haven't. Oh
You
yeah,
do not.
Cell's on my shelf.
Do you have Cell?
I do. I have
Did Dad
Cell.
give
I
you
have
Cell?
Insomnia. Yeah, I have Needful Things. 3 books that Dad had that he did not want anymore.
Yeah, that's not surprising. He tends to
Yeah.
read books once.
Doctor Sleep, I think, was by Stephen King.
Well, it's a sequel to Shining.
Yeah.
Because it's a grown-up
Dark Tower as well. The comic Dark
Danny.
Tower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He has.
That's
There's a Dark Tower is a few. Is like
it's a bunch of people, but like he was a part of it, I think.
Oh no, like it is his, but it's there's a number of volumes.
Anyway, Stephen King
There's at
rocks,
least 3.
and I love him. But I will not watch scary movies. I won't do it. Although I have seen, like I've seen The Shining, or not. I've not seen The Shining. I won't watch The Shining, but I've read The Shining a bunch of times, so I know what happens. I have seen Sixth Sense, which was scary. It was very scary. I've seen that weird one that are a bunch of people in an elevator. What's that called? That might be an movie too.
I don't remember what it's called, but it turns out like it's a devil.
Yeah. Is it called Devil?
It might be called Devil.
We're gonna look it up.
I want to know what this book is called. Playing Back in Time. Book. Things eating past.
Looking up.
Is it the Langoliers?
Yes, it is. It's the Langoliers.
Oh.
Super weird.
It's a novella by.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's part of his.
Yeah, it was like a bunch of books in a.
Yeah, series. It's part of 4 Past Midnight, which is a anthology.
Yeah.
The Langoliers, right?
Fucking weird.
And they go back in time, and
it just sticks out to me because it was super confusing, and I didn't really know what was happening. But I was like, all right. I mean, I like Stephen King. We're just gonna roll with it. And it ended up. I think it was a pretty good book. Like I finished it. Obviously, I continued reading it. But yeah, it was weird. It was very weird.
That is disturbing.
I like Stephen King. I really do. Oh, I was gonna look up what that movie was called. That was what I was gonna look up.
I'm pretty sure it's called Devil.
Devil?
Or Demon or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called Devil. I've seen it twice. It's stupid because I don't like it. And I don't want to watch it, but it is. It's not.
It was written by M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, it's not directed by him.
No, but he did help write it.
Gross. I hate it. I don't know why I've seen it twice. I think honestly it was just that I like sat down with Dad one day and he was like, I'm gonna watch this movie. And I was like, all right, cool. And then it just was on and I was like, I can't leave.
Yeah, let's be honest. Half of the movies I've watched are because Dad just turns them on.
That's true. That's true.
Literally, the only reason I've watched like Aliens and and even like Predator and stuff like that is because Dad just turns them on and is like, you're going to watch the movie with me, right? And I just have to sit. True. Literally. So
I've become that person now. I'm putting on a movie. They're like, oh, what movie? I was like, I don't know, just a movie. Doesn't matter. I like movies.
Hey everyone, editing Gavin here. Yeah, I'm working my way through the recording now. However, because Leigh and I ended up recording for roughly 2 hours, because apparently we haven't talked enough. I do have to split this into multiple parts. I don't think you want to listen to us for 2 hours straight or see our gross faces for 2 hours straight. So I'm splitting it into multiple parts. Currently, this one I think is about like 50 odd minutes long. Second one, I might split into 2 shorter sections, or I might just keep it as another like the second hour. We'll find out soon enough. But I hope you enjoyed. episode 1, or this continuation, part 1 of this episode, and you'll get to hear more about the one horror thing that I really don't like at the start of the next episode, as well as us talking about some more like horror items and what we actually planned on talking about during this recording, which we didn't get to. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye out for when we post that one. Hopefully it shouldn't take me too long to get it going. If you enjoy what you're seeing, let us know. Let us know what you want us to talk about, or if there's anything. Anyway, adios. Have a wonderful time. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.